In this video, we're going to look at the Morph masker element. So here we have an empty section. Let's go ahead and add our element to the page. Morph masker. And so the Morph masker element is a container element that applies a mask and it animates the mask based on the settings that we give it. So I'm going to go ahead and add an image. As you can see, now we have an image inside our Morph masker elements, and there is a mask that is applied by default. Let's change the image to something else. Go ahead and choose this one. So the image is a bit too big. Just gonna size it down a little. All right. So in terms of the settings, first settings that we have are the different masks that we can apply. And we have a number of masks that's what can be applied. And we can also flip the masks so that we can have more variety in terms of design. The next settings are the animation types, and we can apply either an entrance animation, which is the default, or we can apply a scroll-based animation so that the animation is linked to the scroll. And under the entrance animation, we can obviously define our duration, apply a delay or not, and we can also change the easings, which would provide for even more variations. For the scroll animations, we have the usual settings. We can define the trigger to which the scroll trigger will be relative to, the trigger location where it starts and ends, and we can enable debug markers. The rest of the settings are essentially container type of settings that you would expect. So we can define a width and a height. We can define the layout settings for the flexbox. We can define backgrounds, borders, paddings, and the margins top and bottom. So probably using an image or a video or an illustration or an SVG or something would be the most basic usage of this element, but it is a container and it's essentially the same thing as a div or a section or any of the other container elements. You don't have any limits as to the number of elements that you can put inside. What this means is that we can do something like, let's take some section here. We can have all these elements inside of a morph container or a morph masker container, and there will be a mask that gets applied to all of those elements. And with this, we can create some pretty cool effects. So let's give it some background just so that we can see what we're doing. And then I can just slide all the elements inside it of the mask, morph masker instead of the section. So in this case, I will just change the defaults that we have in this section a little. And just gonna give a bit more heights to this morph masker, and then just gonna align everything vertically. And as you can see, we have a nice section that has a mask applied to it, and that will get animated, in this case on entrance animation. Very easy, and you can create some nice variations in your designs. The other kind of usage that you could potentially use this for is, as you saw earlier when we had the background color applied, the mask is always applied to the container. And what this means is that we can do something like using the element as just a design element without having anything inside of it. So let's give this one some background. Guess that's fine. And let's say I want to use this with something vertical. Yeah, that's fine. So I want to have this shape that gets animated on this side of the section. And then I would have whatever text or CTAs or whatever design I want to do. In this case, what we can do is pretty simple. Let's give it something like 50% and 100% heights. Get rid of the defaults that we have in our section. In order for it not to get in the way of other elements within this section, I'm just going to get it out of the document flow. I'm going to put a position absolute and just put it on the left side. And then I can just add whatever elements I want to have. So blah, blah. And another blah. And I can change the font, maybe make it much bigger and give it a higher Z index. And then maybe align it to the left and give it some light color and add some blend mode. And that's it. Now, every time this section loads or comes into the screen with the default settings, then it will be animated. Pretty cool, right? And of course, we can, change the masks, change the animation. Yeah, bounce would work nicely here. You can have it smaller and have more than one in your section, and you lay them out however you want to create new kind of abstract shapes. You get the idea. Lots of usage and very, very easy to use. So hope you like it, and I'll see you in the next one.